Welcome to Dan's Cars, the Swiss automotive channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 17 cars I had in the last 16 years, since I was 17 years old. Okay, let's get started. My first car was a 1990 BMW 318 IS E30. It was an awesome car. It had a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder, 16 valves and 136 horsepower. It was a great car to start with. I really loved it. I just saw it on the internet and I had to have it, so I bought it. And I had no idea if it was a good car or not. Well, it did go well, no problems at all. I had this car about 1 year until a friend of mine crashed into a tree with it, so I had to buy another one. The second car was a 1987 BMW 520i, and it was by far the most beautiful BMW ever made. It was slow. It had a 2-liter 6-cylinder engine with only 129 horsepower, so it was slow, but the sound of it was amazing. Those inline six are just the best. About 8 months later, my parents bought me another car, so I wouldn't have to take the scooter to drive to school, especially in winter. That was really dangerous, so they got me this car. It's a 1997 Daihatsu Move, 1.8 liter 3-cylinder, 42 horsepower. It was amazing. It's so ugly. It's really ugly and slow. I mean, you can't imagine how slow this car was. In Switzerland we have a speed limit on the highway which is 120 kph. It's at about 75 miles an hour. And this car could barely make it. So I always drove full throttle and was never too fast. That's amazing. That's so funny to me. Well, this didn't last that long because I got tired of the car. So a few months later I traded it in for this Toyota Paseo with a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder and 90 horsepower, so double the horsepower. It felt like a sports car to me. And that's the first car I ever had a speeding ticket. I drove 68 kilometers an hour in a 50 zone, so that cost me about 500 Swiss francs. And well, it wasn't the last one, for sure. I really like this car because I just think it's pretty. It's a small coupe, and it really looks good, especially with the rear wing and the sport exhaust. I liked it, but I had to sell it because I wanted another one. I bought myself a 1988 BMW 7 Series, a 735 IL long wheelbase. It had a 3.5 liter 6-cylinder with 211 horsepower. Well, it was slow. By modern standards, it was really slow. But I really loved this car. It was so amazing to drive, so comfortable, so luxurious. It didn't even have AC. It didn't have leather. It probably was just the base model, but it was so nice. I loved it. And then, well, something happened. I crashed it and was gone. In the meantime, I also had a red 1994 Seat Ibiza with a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder and 90 horsepower. Well, this car was trash. I bought it for 300 Swiss francs and had rust, had dents, and it was trash. But was so much fun to drive with it because I don't know how about you, but I really like to drive hoopties because you just don't have to be careful, you just have fun, and well, that's it. Um, After the crash with the 7 Series, I sold both and bought me a 1996 or 1997 BMW 323i, and well, that was amazing. Um, had a 2.5 liter engine, inline six cylinder again, and 170 horsepower. Back then, it was quite a good car, quite fast. Um, had lots of fun with it. That car had to go because the timing chain failed, um, and that would have been engine out, which I didn't want to do because it was an older car, a lot of miles, was just wasn't worth it. So another car. At that time, I worked at a car dealership, um, Opel. I really don't like these cars, but I just kind of had to buy an Opel. So I bought this Opel Corsa 1.4 liter, also 90 horsepower. It was oh, it was just a car. It wasn't exciting or anything, but it got me from A to B. But 3 months later, I changed the car again. This time I bought from the same place an Opel Vectra 1.9 liter diesel. Man, that car was huge on the inside. The trunk was amazingly big. And the ride was also very nice. It was a quite comfortable car. It was perfect for about a year when I decided I want to go back to BMW. So I bought a 2000 BMW 320i Touring, 193 horsepower, automatic, was great. I really enjoyed that one too. As you know, by now I don't keep my cars very long, so I got myself a 2000 BMW 540i. Again, one of the most beautiful BMWs ever made, in my opinion. What a piece of shit this was. Only problems: check engine light, water cooler, electric problems, and I spent so much money on this car, and it wasn't possible to fix this car. So after 4 or 5 months, I sold it again at a huge loss. This car really cost me money. Then I was at a point where I just didn't want another BMW because I had enough. I just had enough because of this 540i, which was my dream car. So I decided to buy a brand new Skoda Fabia 1.2 TSI, which means I ordered that car in the configuration I wanted, and it was a really good little car, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't really exciting or something like that. I was just happy to have a car which just works, no problem at all. I drove that one for 3 years, new record. But then I didn't have any warranty anymore, so I was a little bit scared because it's basically Volkswagen, and I don't trust Volkswagens when they age. They tend to be crap. So I sold it and got myself my first Volvo. Before that, I wanted to buy a Mustang, and because the fuel prices in Switzerland are just too high, I decided to get a Mustang V6. I just loved the 2012 model year of the Mustang, so I wanted to go with it. But as soon as I had the chance to drive one, I decided not to buy a Mustang because holy moly, that's a cheap piece of shit. No, but really, it's so badly built, so such crappy rides. It's no. So the way back home, I went to a Volvo dealership, drove one, and then decided to get a Volvo. So I bought my 2007 Volvo S80 3.2 all-wheel drive. And again, I loved that car. I had this one for 3 years. It's just the best car ever. No problems, good power, not too much, but good. All-wheel drive, nice. I have so many memories with this car. It was just a special car to me, and well, I loved it. But then I decided I need a bigger car, station wagon, because I had a small child and just more practical car. So I got myself my Volvo XC70 D5 all-wheel drive, which I still have. You've seen our video about that car. I really like it. It has some flaws, but it's a really good car. I've owned it now for a bit more than 3 years, and I'm gonna keep it. I don't know how long, but I will keep it for now. Last year, an old man, I don't even know, decided to stop driving and gave me his Chrysler Barbarian convertible. So this Chrysler Barbarian was probably the worst car I ever had. Also one of the most fun cars I ever had. I really loved to drive this one. I enjoyed every minute with it. It had a lot of dents and rust and scratches, and AC didn't work. Windows didn't work that good. Convertible roof didn't really work that well. Radio didn't work. There was a lot of problems with this car, but I fixed some of them so that it's just good enough for me, and I enjoyed it while the summer lasted. At the end of last summer, I wanted to give it a transmission oil change. And then we found out it had a huge oil leak between the engine and the transmission. So as I didn't want to spend a lot of money on this car because I got it for free, it wasn't in good condition, so I sold it. And after I sold it, I bought my Volvo C30. Well, you just saw a video about this one. It's an amazing little car. It's fun to drive. Here we go. Those were the 17 cars I owned and still own 2 of them. If you want to know more about one of the cars I had, tell me in the comments and I will gladly do a video about this specific car. And yeah, let me know. And as always, please like, share, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.